Sneaky, 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 sneak. Hey folks, today we're going to be talking about the newly added photo mode in Deathloop, and I'm just trying some things out here. So I've tried this a little bit. I like Deathloop a lot. It didn't have a photo mode, and I wasn't really looking for one, but I'm glad they added it. So we can see during executions, there's normally a switch between first and third person. Seems like that goes away when you're mid-action. So I'm going to try that out a few times and see if that is consistent with powers and stuff too. So this seems like an interesting spot with the sun coming out over here. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to do was try using a power while in photo mode. So let's try this. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, so we can, while charging a power, go into photo mode. Okay, that's interesting. It leaves the effect here with my person there, and I can go into third person mode. That's cool. We'll have to think about using that at some point. But while we're here, let's go over the features of the photo mode. So we've got mode first person, third person. If you've watched my video about cyberpunk tips, you know my opinion on first or third person is don't use first person. You basically always want third person. There's the one exception of I want to get my arm in the screen, but I don't actually think that's a very common situation. I think normally you want to be in third person mode. You can do basically anything you could have in first person mode, in third person mode. It just gives you better camera movement, which I think is really helpful. We've got player show, hide, makes sense. NPCs show, hide, doesn't matter here, but could matter if you're like seeing this guy over here. What do you know, he's gone. Cool. Oh, and I can just like fly around. This is like unbounded almost. Is it unbounded? That's awesome. I really like that. Most cameras in photo mode get bounded to the player, and I've always sort of wondered why that is. I assumed it was for like technical reasons, but I really like that it's unbounded and we can just sort of like come up here and get the shot we want over the cathedral or whatever this building is, something like this. Very cool. Field of view does what you would expect. Filters. So we got black and white, sepia-ish, very red, which is interesting. We could use that here, I think. Something like that. Blue, also sort of neat. Green. High contrast. I like this one in this scene. The orange and blues come out one bit. It reminds me of the Return of Obra Dinn style. Sunrise. Sort of interesting. Special. I like that one too. Does that have hearts? Little hearts for the pixels instead. Prime town. Tone. Yeah, a lot of these are sort of weird. Sketch. That's interesting. Full throttle for action shots is cool. 3D and then none. Cool. So we'll probably use one of those for this. Filter intensity. I like that there's a slider for that. Exposure. How bright. Saturation. Color. Contrast. You know, darks versus lights. Something like that. Character modes. Something we should check out real quick. Gotta go back to the character. Cult. You can switch to Juliana if you would like. You can change their outfits. There you go. Very cool. You can change their weapon. Looks like you can change it to pretty much anything. It is not bounded by what your character has or what my character has. Different weapon variations, so that's sort of neat. Weapon skins, different colors. And then we've got stickers. There you go. They're stickers. Are they all the same? Yeah, you can just put a bunch of different ones on there. And you can move them around, which is good. You know, I'm not a huge fan of stickers, but used well, they can be nice. Frame. The frames are really nice. I did like them. You've got your TV frames. You've got your postcard sort of pics. I like these with the little white outlines. I think those are really good, especially these. I'll probably just leave this one on. But if you want to crop your photo down, you can totally do that. That would be really nice. If we down a little more. I can't get it directly centered because of my keyboard, but like if we did it a little more, we probably could. I think for now I'm going to leave paper wide on. I really like this style. Go back to my original idea. Getting the sun just coming over the roof, just barely there. And then we've got Chaos Freedom. I like the shot. I'm trying to cut out the bottom stuff a little bit. It's sort of boring up here. I'm trying to get the sun to come over, but also try to cut out this little plant down at the bottom, while also not leaving too much blank space. And we've got the lines coming into the sun, so I like that. Cool. And then for filters, that might be a bit much, just to drown out some of the detail. I don't like some of this here. Cool, so yeah, I think overall, I like that the camera is unbounded. Wait, what is this? Oh my God. Okay, so here's a trick that I just found out. This little thing over here is a scroll bar. I didn't realize this at first. I was doing the wrap up of this video, which I will have cut at this point, complaining about how there was no depth of field and how there was no thirds lines. But you scroll down, you can turn on your grid. They actually have a couple grids. Oh, very cool. Very good. Good job. There's a flash, which isn't helpful here, but that's cool. I haven't seen flash in a lot of video games. I'll mess with that in a sec. And then we have autofocus, focus distance, and blur intensity. So blur intensity is like depth of field, and you can see focus min distance. I really like these sliders. Rather than doing the actual depth of field focus, you can do the min distance, which I think we want to get this full sign in focus. And then we want to do max distance. And I sort of want to blur out some of this stuff. Maybe get the sun a bit blurred. See, we got some blur here. Yeah, but we want the full sign in focus. Something like that. Maybe we turn down the blur intensity a bit. Yeah, I like that a lot. Cool. So they did resolve the issue I was going to complain about, which is very cool. I like this a lot. I think with that one, this is like one of the better photo modes just in general for games that I've seen. It's up there with like your Forza Horizons and things like that. It's really good. We got the grid. Flash is not something I've ever seen in another video game before. We're going to try that out next. Oh, and there's more here. Oh, hey, there's vignette and film grain, chromatic aberrations. I don't normally like that. Sharpen. We don't need to sharpen it, but that's cool that it's there. Vignette. Hop on a little vignette, as you do. Film grain, if you want it. I'm not a huge fan of film grain. Poses. Okay, so there are poses. I didn't realize there were poses before, but very good. We'll check that out in a sec. And then, okay, so there are no scrolls on this one. I was actually good on this. So yeah, there's a lot of features here. Remember, you can scroll with either the mouse wheel or this little scroll thing that sort of blends into the background. But cool. How do we actually take a photo though? It does not say. Escape is back, and I don't want to do that. So I guess we just hide interface and do alt print screen. What I'm going to do for now. Cool. Okay. So yeah, the alt print screen worked. The hide interface plus alt print screen is the way to do it. Yeah, I don't see any instruction for how to take a photo, but let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. Let's see, center makes some sense. Autofocus on, I assume this goes on the character. Yes, it is. We want this. The lighting is not good in this position, but I do want to check out some of the poses. The poses, you can slide them around as you do. Z offset, okay, that makes sense. Rotation makes sense as well. Pose, very cool, very cool, very cool. And does this change if we have single gun? It does. Poses change based on what weapon you have. So there's lots of poses. Cool, cool. So we got that. We got rotation, offset, pose. So yeah, lots of posing outfit options for your character, which is really good. You've got lots of different grids. Oh, and flash. We need to check out flash real quick. I've not seen what flash does. Flash intensity. There we go. Okay. Oh, cool. So it is like just a flash on the character, and then we can change the color. That's cool. The colors, the colored light, I don't know how well that shows up. I think just having, you're taking a picture of the character in like a dark space like this with the flash, that definitely feels more dramatic. Get the words in there, and then maybe move down a bit. Yeah, I really like it. I think overall, the photo mode is one of the better photo modes I've played with. The fact that they have multiple grids, I think, really speaks to my photographer geek nature. When we can tilt it a little bit, give it a little Dutch angle. The depth of field, focus, min and max distance, I think is a really good way to control the depth of field. Like that's normally you just get the distance you're going and maybe the width, But having a min and max really lets you control easily like what you want in focus and what you want blurred out and outside of your depth of field. Having a flash is something I haven't seen in another game before, but seems like a really good idea. Third person and first person mode, you can't stick with just first person mode, you have to have third person, so as long as you have that, that's good. Hide and show all the things you want, including messages. Filters are good, no complaints there. Vignette, film grain, poses, lots of different ways you can make your character do things. And stickers, not a huge fan, but the frames have all been really good. I'm using a frame now, which is something I don't do a lot of the times because they can be a little bit obtrusive, but I think the frames they have are pretty tasteful and really fit the theme of the game. So yeah, overall, really good job on the photo mode. I like it. The only thing that maybe I could see adding is time of day settings, but the time of day is sort of an integral part of the game, so I'm not sure how you would do that. And you can, if you want to get a photo of this spot at a different time of day, you can actually just come back at a different time, right? That's sort of the whole premise of Deathloop, so it makes sense that the photo mode wouldn't let you change that, but you can just come back at an evening time or in a morning time if you want to do a different time of day for your photo. Overall, really happy. I'll probably mess around with this more, maybe do some more tips. I've got a couple other games that I also want to look at in terms of photo mode, so those will be coming up shortly, but for now, really like this, happy with it, and thanks for adding the photo mode, developers. It was really good.